Yo, what's going on, gamers? It's Ryan 6 days a week, and I have some really exciting news to tell you all. Tavern Table just launched, which is Ironmace's new devcast hosted on Twitch, and they released a ton of new teasers for us to enjoy about next wipe, Season 5 or Wipe 6, both are the same thing. You're gonna hear me reference it as both, so don't get too confused. First, of course, we have a first look at the Sorcerer class, which is gonna be a magic damage and utility class with unarmed casting, so both hands will have their own spells and will operate on cooldowns instead of charges. So yes, this is another one of those technically unlimited casting classes, but it does look really interesting, and of course will probably be a little bit busted on release. The coolest mechanic so far that they've leaked is that you could actually combine each of the individual spells from your left and right hand into a third new spell, so it's gonna be kind of wild. There's gonna be a lot of options when playing this class. Yes, that is a summon that you see as well, which does concern me a little bit since, hey, the Druid with the Treant and of course Hydras did make the game a little too doorway focused. So we're going to see a lot of door jamming with the summons, I believe, at the start of next wipe. But then again, I have no idea how strong that Rock Golem is, or if that's even the only summon that the Sorcerer has. The third and last clip of the Sorcerer that Ironmace does share with us actually gets me excited, not just about the Sorcerer, but about the state of Crypts itself, since they are moving the Lich into the Crypts as a main level boss. So, a little less RNG when selecting the boss that you want to fight, especially when you go to Inferno. And this is actually a segue into the next topic brought up on Tavern Table, which is the randomized modules for the Crypts map. Yes, you heard that right. Next wipe, right at the start, the Crypts modules will be entirely randomized. From the screenshot they shared, this does seem to be the case for both orientation and position. But there of course will be certain weights added to each map, so you have a higher chance of certain modules appearing if they have the required map mechanics, so Altar of Sacrifice, Escapes, and the boss. This is very much a huge win for the entire community since it's going to bring back the feeling of the great unknown when exploring the dungeons. It does raise a couple of concerns to me right off the bat, since this is an indirect buff to clerics, as they are the only class that can resurrect without the use of a resurrection altar. So clerics became that much more valuable in the trio's team comp. Aside from that though, this is very much a needed change to the game, and I'm excited to see this technology be applied to the rest of the maps. So once again, this is only going to be something on the Crypts layer for now, but Ironmace does intend for every single map to have this feature of randomized modules. Next, we have the gem socketing system, which will be available at the start of next wipe, so once again, December 18th. This gem socketing system will not replace the random modifiers entirely. What's going to happen is, you'll be able to loot items just as normal, but a new merchant will appear in your loadout. This merchant, you can exchange gems of the item's equal rarity, so an epic item would require epic level gems, to swap out individual random modifier rolls. So yes, this upcoming wipe will be the Wipe Abyss. We'll be seeing a lot more great and almost perfect statted items, at least in the dungeons, but it also will make things a lot easier for the average player in terms of achieving those rolls that they want, which I think is overall a great change. I think having strong gear in the game is important, but it should be available for all players to get. Arena mode will also be returning to just minted gear that is saved on loss, but no further details have been given out on how gems play into this minted interaction. Next, and the final visual teaser that Ironmace shared with us was some screenshots of the new map, the water-based map that I believe is supposed to be around 90% covered in water. This map will feature swimming, and of course this mechanic will be slowly applied to the other maps that have deep levels of water. I don't entirely know if this map is going to be tied to any of the existing maps, like be a step before or after Goblin Caves, or before Runes, or somewhere in the Ice Caverns, but from the screenshots alone, it does look to be a standalone map. It is that unique in design and appearance. Towards the end of the devcast, a few other systems were touched on, such as the account-wide quest, which should be hitting at the start of the wipe, the new achievement system, which I believe is account-wide and similar to the quest in terms of objective, and the continuous dungeon system, which we shouldn't see at the start of the wipe, but may make an appearance sometime after. Now, to quickly summarize all the main points that were discussed in the first episode of Tavern Table, we should be seeing on wipe day the Sorcerer, a magic damage and utility class that casts with no casting weapon and operates on cooldowns instead of charges. On wipe day, we'll also see randomized modules for the Crypts map, as well as Fog of War and the appearance of the Lich boss in the Crypts, and the first iteration of the gem stocking system, which will allow you to overwrite existing random modifiers on gear and equipment. And finally, the last visual teaser that was shared with us was the new water map, which we can't expect for wipe day, but hopefully sometime this wipe, since the map does look pretty awesome and it does involve a new traversing mechanic, which is swimming. Again, what was shared with us in these visuals are just teasers of next wipe, so there's going to be a lot of details that aren't included in these stills and video clips that are going to be important to how things function in Dark and Darker over the next couple of months. Gamers, that's all for this video. Thank you as always for watching, and thank you for another year of your support, and I'll see you in the next video and the next wipe on December 18th. Take care.